Have you ever wondered if the uncertainty of living on your own is worth escaping the pain of living with your abusive parents? Let's dive into both realities.
Had to hop over fences and climb up the ladder to get what I want, bitch. I'm just getting better. They tried to tell me I would never be shit. Look at me now, body built like a brick. Sleep all you want, but I'm chasing my dreams. Everything I do is fuck the supreme. Came from the hood, ain't shit sweet about me.
Hola, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deity, Princey, and I am the Miracle Coach. I am a metaphysician. I'm the transformational and empowerment coach to help you heal and transcend from childhood adversities to live your greatest version of yourself, of your life. Let's hop right in. I am a childhood trauma thriver. I have a 10 out of 10 ACEs score. I was sexually and physically assaulted from 3 until 13 years old from both of my egg and sperm donors. So this video is the expert speaking to help you because I am an expert in this. Now, the reality of this whole experience is when you stay with abusive parents, it begins to get codependent. At 9 years old, my egg donor would always tell me I had to leave. So I would always pack my things, leave from 9 until 2015. 2015 is the last time she kicked me out because I got tired of it. 2015, I said, you know what? Let me see what's out here. Let me see what I can do on my own because I don't have to keep being abused, period. It was taking a huge emotional toll on me. So if you are living with abusive parents, there's a lot of gaslighting, there's a lot of triangulation, there's a lot of invalidation of your feelings, of your emotions, of who you are. And again, it's this whole false sense of safety because you think that you are safe, but that's only because familiarity breeds content. You are familiar with their patterns, with their abuse tactics. We learn how to now basically people please and kiss ass. We learn how to maybe get the things we want from them. We learn how to not have them attack us and say things to us, but that's only but short-lived. A narcissist, minds are sociopaths and psychopaths, and they do have narcissism within them. But a narcissist, a sociopath, a psychopath, they're going to still be abusive no matter how much we try to walk on eggshells. You begin to have low self-esteem when you stay with these type of people because they do want to keep you financially dependent upon them. Even though my egg donor would tell me to get out at 9 years old, when I turned 16, really when I was 14, I wanted to get emancipated. And I would always tell her, not really her, I would just say in general, I'm going to get a job as soon as I'm legal. She would always say, you don't need to work. You don't need to have a job. And it's like, they want to keep you financially dependent upon them. Low self-esteem because even though you're not working, they're not going to, I'm black, so with me it's different. I grew up with weaves, all that stuff. They're not going to get your hair done. They're not going to get your nails done. They're not going to get you the clothes that you want to wear. So they might tell you, hey, you don't need to do anything. But the whole time they're just keeping you dependent upon them with the crumbs that they're giving you. If they decide to do something nice for you, if they decide to give you, when I was in, high school, if they decide to give you money for that trip, it's going to be very much finicky. Listen, abusive environments can really stifle your growth. And by me being away, so I left 2015, when you are in these environments, you cannot heal and become your greatest version inside of an environment that has broke you, that has torn you down, that has abused you. It's impossible. It's like putting, I have coleus, I have a lot of plants, but let's use my coleus. If I was to put my coleus and submerge it in just a bunch of water, right? The roots of it, not the roots, but the top of it, the flower part, it's not going to thrive because that part is not supposed to be in water. Only the roots are, right? So you cannot thrive. You cannot become your highest, greatest version because they're going to always hinder you. You say you want to do this, they're going to encourage you to do something different. Or they're going to encourage you to do something because we all have these elaborated things that we might want to do, right? They might hone in on a thing that whatever you may be experiencing as like a fad, they're going to hone in on that, right? You say, for example, oh, I want to be a nail tech, only because in that moment you might be obsessed with nails. But in the longevity, that you might actually want to be a nail tech, but you may not actually want to do that. You may just want to learn the skill. Like I'm gonna use me for an example. I thought I wanted to be a makeup artist. My whole life I want to be a traveling makeup artist. I want to do everyone's makeup. So my egg donor, for example, she was like, yeah, do makeup. That was not my calling. Now I can beat my face. If y'all look through my videos, y'all see. I wanted to learn how to do makeup for me. I don't want to be on nobody. I don't want to be in nobody's space. I don't want nobody touching me. I don't want to touch you. But this is what I thought I wanted because I wanted that financial freedom. So they will hone in on something that you might not actually have the full desire to do. It's just in that moment, it sounds so exciting. Like, oh my God, so fun. So that's another factor to look out for. Now, living on your own is so much freedom. It's so fun. I left 2015, and here's how. I'm a master manifester. I'm a life path 11, and I'm an Aquarius sun and moon. So I have nothing but 11s all around me, and 11 is intuitive. So I naturally manifest even when I was in my trauma. So at 2015, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and leave. But by 2017, I already lost 75 pounds of my trauma. I was 210 pounds. That was my biggest from my sexual assault and from my physical assault. I lost 75 pounds of my trauma, one. And then two, I got accepted to college. And then 2017 till 2022, I lived inside of apartment dorms, and I had my own. For freshman year was 2 semesters. Only one semester I stayed in a house with an apartment dorm with like 4 other girls. But again, I had my own room. It was only 3 rooms, and I was the one that had my own room. And then the last semester of freshman year, they moved me into my own apartment. Do you know how much hate I got from everyone in my program? How did she get her own apartment? Because I'm her. That's why. I've literally, my whole college experience, the whole 5 years, 4.5, I was in my own space, and it's so much freedom and independence. Then from 2022 until 2023, I stayed in off-campus housing right up the street from my dorm because I was afraid to leave school because I grew so attached. I'm like, this is fun. It was so much freedom. So I experienced the financial aspect of living on your own a little after college and before college because I had my own apartment. So when you're living on your own, yes, it will be that moment where you're like, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? But that's the manifestation. That's the changing of your mind. You have to believe that I'm going to get this done. I always had money, always. I've done hair. Okay, I've done makeup. I've always had my own side hustle. Always had my own business. DoorDash, Uber. Okay, I'm a chauffeur. I've done it all. So with that being said, once you are in a space of your own, you will now begin to open up new neurological pathways. When you have to solve a problem, your brain is going to go into alert mode. Okay, what we got to do? Let's go. Soldier mode. So you're going to solve every issue, but it's so much freedom to wake up, to walk around booty hole naked if you want to, because it's your shit. You can do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, have whoever you want over. But here's what I will say. When you first leave, be mindful of your healing journey, because when I first left, I did live with an abusive person. And that's because the law of vibration. Familiarity breeds content. This person was a reflection of my egg and sperm donor. And I ended up being in a toxic environment. Again, even though I was away from my egg and sperm donor, 2015 until 2017, well, really it was only a year. So 2015 until 2016, I had someone staying with me. It was still my apartment, and I made them leave because I got tired of the abuse. So when you leave, you just may still attract people who are a reflection of your mother and father, only because familiarity breeds content. But by you watching this video, you'll already be aware. So you can change all those different things. You can get the therapy that you need. You can be around people. Get yourself a support group so that way you can have the endorphin rush of feeling like, wow, people care about me. I'm loved. I get to share my experiences with people. I get to talk. So when you leave one toxic environment, just be really intentional about your healing, about your transformation. You are now transforming into a whole new being. So I would say start the practice now. If you are still living with abusive parents, start saving your money. Start thinking ahead and plan out your escape. Because again, once you give your brain a problem, your brain is going to solve it. That's how we're wired. We have to see it through. Give yourself that knowing that I'm getting up out of here, I'm going to be successful. When you live with abusive parents and when you get your own, you're literally a completely different being. Self-mastery comes easy because you're just going over those trials and those tribulations. And once you make it, once you got that year in, once you got that 2 years in, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, really after the first year or two, you really going to be like, what? This is amazing. You can do it. I'm here to remind you, you can fucking do anything you want to do, because if I can do it, so can you. I did all this solo. I attracted my soul family after I did all the healing and the shedding. Now I'm surrounded by so much love. But in the beginning, I was on my own, okay? So if I can do it, and I know you watching me, I know someone watching me has a really good best friend. I know someone watching me has someone in their life who they are truly, they feel like this is my person. This person is so kind. Maybe that person is telling you, hey, you can do this. Hey, maybe you can stay with me. I say this with a grain of salt though, because again, familiarity breeds contempt. If you have people around you who may have similar energy as your toxic family, you don't want to live with that person. But if you know you have people around you and you know they really care about your well-being, and I'm only emphasizing this because again, when I left, I attracted so many people who were narcissistic, who wanted to control me and capture me. I have a very bright energy. My energy is just immaculate. So a lot of people that I ran into along my early journey wanted to capture my mind power, and they realized that they couldn't. They realized that, oh, this is a tough cookie to fucking crack. So be mindful of the energies you keep, because the law of vibration, cause and effect, what goes in must come out. So because you were programmed around abuse, you don't want to be so open to just anyone. When you get your own place, you don't want to just let people live with you. Everybody got to figure out their own thing. I'm here to tell you, you don't owe nobody a spot on your couch, and that's real shit. When you get out here and you figure this out on your own, that is yours, because you let the enemy in. That enemy is going to be so hard to get out. Because for a year, when I had that person living with me, it was so hard to get them out. Because once a person gets mailed to your house, they have proof to say, oh, I live here. And then they can call the cops. One night, actually, I got kicked out of my own apartment. The cops made me leave. And I'm like, this is my apartment. My name's on the lease. They was like, yeah, but he gets mail here. And I'm like, are you serious? So I slept in my car for that whole night. So yeah, just be mindful. You got this though. I just want you to know you can do anything. If I can do it, so can you. I do have my Twerk and Heal Mastermind on January 11th. If you are interested, only $7.77. Somatic, Twerk, and Heal. We're going to be releasing that energy. Like I said, I shed 75 pounds. So you want to be able to shed some weight, and you want to be able to shed that weight of that toxic energy too. And that's on what? Period. Peace, love, and darkness. Remember to stay rich, wet, and dangerous. Deuces.
Everything I do is fucking supreme. Came from the hood, ain't shit sweet about me.